Okay, I should be live again. I don't know if I am or not. I apologize to all of you beautiful people. We're gonna take two of this. I don't know. Hold on. I'm gonna take two of this. So let's see here. We'll take two. I'll give you guys an insight on things because I guess I need to give insight on things because we'll take two. Hold on. Okay. All right, take two of this. So we'll take a take two of this. So here's the deal. So a lot of people on X, I'm gonna take two. I'm gonna keep this more professional because I don't think you need to hear a raging lunatic on the internet. I apologize for that. Sometimes I get a little too passionate, and I know some of you don't want to come for that. I get why I'm too visual for YouTube. Okay, I apologize. Number one, I want to talk about the viewership here because a lot of people are talking about viewerships and what a lot of you, and let me get my yeah, here we go. Cool. I'll just do this real quick. I'm going to keep the same backdrop as I had yesterday when we were talking about streaming TV services and things like that. So our streaming deal that happened yesterday with AEW. So I want to make something really abundantly clear. You have a lot of big names out there, okay? Like the Bischoffs, like Russo, like Jim Cornette, Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez. You have Roz Geary, for instance. All these guys are selling for views. They have to get clicks up on their respective pages. So right now, the hot thing to talk about right now is AEW views being down. A lot of people have been talking about this for a minute. What people need to understand is cable television is dying at a rapid pace right now. They're saying in the next 5 years, cable television will not exist as it once did. What people need to understand too as well out of this, DirecTV and Dish Network just merged. AT&T got out of the satellite and cable business completely. And they said cable is dying. For a major and they lost $30 billion. For a major player in the space of satellite and cable providers, that's huge. And a lot of people need to pick up on this because what's happening is the reason why AEW is going to be simulcasting is, which a lot of you don't understand. What a lot of you don't understand is, and what I need to take you to school on, is a lot of these big channels don't understand is it's going to come down to subscription buys. How many subscription buys is each service going to have going forward? A lot of people are not picking up on this. A lot of people are talking about cable television views. What you don't factor into that is DVR, cloud DVR views, or DVR in general. People are not understanding that. I think a lot of people are not understanding that. And a lot of people are now starting to compare WCW to AEW, which that's not the case either. You should not be comparing these two companies because two different decades. And in fact, if you're comparing the two companies, one just got another TV rights deal where the other one got sold to WWE, and AOL and Warner wanted to get out of the business. They didn't even want to be there. And it's two different regimes now. Dave Zaslav likes wrestling, in fact. He's actually stated it multiple times. He was mad that he struck out on WWE. He really, really originally wanted to pick up WWE Raw and put it on the Max app. That was his whole vision. But nobody talks about this stuff. Nobody talks about the insider and the stuff that happens. And what's happening is companies have to make money, however you want to slice and dice it. The days of going and turning on your cable box and watching professional anything is done. It's over. You're going to have to pick and choose an a la carte what you're going to buy. For instance, if you like UFC, you're going to go over to ESPN Plus. You're going to buy ESPN Plus. You're going to become a viewer. And that's just the way it's going to be if you want UFC stuff, because that's the home for UFC. Again, that's where ESPN and Disney are going, okay, we can get we can get 1.2 million, maybe 1.5 million subscribers. We've made so much money per month. We're going to retain them. We're going to offer them up everything else, college football, the ACC network. Right then and there, you've locked in somebody. And then what people like to do is some people like to buy a year's worth of the service of ad. So they throw in they throw in bundles to you. What's happening with AEW, which people don't realize, it's more of people are cutting the cord at a rate people are not tuning in anymore. That's what's happening. What's happening is those same cable viewers that were originally there are not there anymore because they've walked out because cable prices are too goddamn high. Take a look at Charter Spectrum. Take a look at that shit. Take a look at what happened with Disney Plus. The minutes the whole thing with Disney happened and Disney Plus and all this shit with sports, what happened to Charter Spectrum? Charter Spectrum, they lost 10 million because they lost 10 million people. Again, I must be the only one speaking fortune cookie, or I'm not speaking proper languages, or not being smart enough here, but I follow this stuff. I'm an analytical man for a reason. I like stock trading. I like watching how companies go from 0 to 1. I like watching Shark Tank stuff. I find that shit fascinating. And I've listened to business insiders talk about how this AEW deal is going to be constructed, how it was going to work. How it's going to work is when they simulcast, hopefully when they simulcast, people will move over and buy subscriptions or the amount of ads that they could generate on the service from all the free subscriptions they gave out will counteract what happened on TV. A lot of people don't realize ads is a huge deal. That's why YouTube does it. Not all for ads, but I'm just telling you why YouTube is so gung-ho about ads. You need to understand that. A lot of people don't want to understand that. Ads is the way to go when it comes to companies. Some companies do it more egregious than the others. But at the end of the day, welcome to the world. Password sharing, because companies don't want to lose money. It's the thing, password sharing. I know some people don't want to hear this from me, but password sharing is now going to have a price tag on it. Companies don't want to lose. Disney is losing a shit ton of money after their deal with the NBA, the NFL, this, that, and the third. You guys got to understand that. And you have a lot of these wrestling channels saying, well, AEW's views are down. But you got to understand the industry that's happening. You guys are not seeing what's happening in the last 3 weeks within the cable television industry. DirecTV lost over 12 million people. That just doesn't happen overnight. People are cutting the cord at an accelerated rate. WWE views are down too. Why is that? They're down 1 million compared to where they were on Fox. That just doesn't happen overnight either. Where are these same people not talking about that? Again, here's an article. SmackDown ratings are down from a year ago. They're down 1.2 million. But we're talking about AEW, right? We should be talking about all companies. The wrestling industry and everything has fucking changed. It's not the same. What is happening is, look at the sports industry. A lot of you don't want to pick up on the sports industry. What's happening in the sports industry right now is Fubo does not want Hulu or Disney, Fox, and a bunch of others coming together to make a sporting. It would cannibalize sports. And I could see Warner going a part of this and turning AEW into something else, part of that streaming deal. It's no good for any of us because we're going to be forced into buying. That's what they want. That's what they want you to do. They want you to become a subscriber. They don't give... TV is dying. It's coming down to subscription buys. I've told this for 4 years. I said this 4 years ago. Cable television is going to become like YouTube, where you just subscribe and you're paying $5.99 for the idea with ads to watch your favorite shows. That's what's happening. They're not caring about views, guys. I'm telling you. They're caring about ad revenue and how many buys they can get on their Max app. They don't care about They're not caring about views anymore. It's about streaming views. Because on a streaming site, on a streaming place, when ads come up on that stream place, like Amazon Prime or whatever, all the revenue goes towards Amazon. It's not being delegated between them and whatever. So you guys know that. A lot of you probably don't know that. Amazon gets to control the ads. That's why they do what they do. That's why YouTube does what they do. They get to control. They get to make all the revenue. That's why they're doing what they're doing. That's why you're seeing AEW going to be simulcast, because what they could do is throw ads on top of it. Times are changing. Cable television is changing. A lot of you guys don't realize that. A lot of you ladies and gentlemen that come to watch my channel don't understand that. It's not the same. Look at the picture. They're still trying to give you ads. Why? Because they know you're going to go out and buy the product. I wouldn't be surprised they didn't do it in video games yet. They haven't done it yet in video games. I'm waiting for the day they do it. Have 30-second ads between, and I know that's going to piss people off, but that's the future of things. If they could throw an ad on your fucking toaster, they're going to do so. And they won't give a fuck. Disney won't give a fuck. And I don't like Disney, period, but I have shows that I like, so I kind of have to bow down. Oh, by the way, another thing that you want to put here, and I know I'm going to get flack for saying this, and I don't give a fuck, because I'm just a guy that I don't care what happens to me at this point. A lot of people go and pirate live shows. People use Cody. People go out of their way to go into these third-party Yoho Pirates Life for Me, and they go watch AEW every week. Those views are not counting. So when you fucking people tell me all the fucking time, 800 and some thousand, it doesn't matter, because literally a quarter of that, AEW would be in millions, because a quarter of that is pirate views and cloud DVR and things that are not being counted. The same with WWE. The same with a lot of these shows. The Dancing with the Stars is down. If you want to go there, top shows that were 2 years ago are now down. All right, let me read this. I predict streaming services before COVID to my mom, and look where, yeah, true. I said the same thing to my own mother and my own family. I said, you watch. Netflix will be the leader of the charge of this. They took advantage during the pandemic. Here we are. WWE's testing the waters. WWE is smart. What did they do? They're going to where the money's at. They're going where the money's at. They're going on to Netflix, because Netflix is one of the biggest things. They're going up to $25 supposedly for their service. And who's getting all the revenue out of that? WWE is. WWE's getting extra revenue for the ads. They're getting extra revenue, and also Netflix benefits. It's all consolidated. There's no middleman there. There's no cable television. Streaming's the future. A lot of you don't realize. Like, for instance, why was the NBA so gun-ho on the idea of putting NBA ball games and WNBA games on Prime TV? Why? I want you to tell me this, because I can tell you why that is. Because they could turn around at the bottom bar on your PlayStation, your Xbox, your Apple TV. They could have jerseys come up every once in a while. What are you doing? Oh, I want that jersey. Oh, that retro jersey. Click, boom, ordered. Amazon wins, the NFL wins right then and there. Boom, done. That's why WWE was in talks with Amazon for a while there. Why? Because they could sell their ads. They could sell their merchandise. They could roll it on the fly. It's a win-win situation. TV views are dying. Wake up, people. Wake up. The new era is coming, and it's coming in 5 years. I'm telling you. The DirecTV is going to die. I'm telling you. Mark my words. DirecTV is done. Everything you remember about DirecTV, people are cutting the cord so fast. I say in the next 2 years, DirecTV's done. They're out of the business. They're gone. Wrestling views, I see wrestling stuff being cannibalized into streaming platforms. And these same very people that talk about views, where are they going to be? What are they going to talk about? Subscription buys. How many subscription buys does... And by the way, they won't be able to, because that's... A lot of these places that talk about subscription, that's people just buying the service. Where are you going to be? Where are you going to be? The NBA on Peacock is money. People wanted the nostalgia. Exactly. That's why Peacock did what they did. And then they can roll ads. They control the money that's coming in. It's all consolidated. They can also sell you other Peacock merch, other Peacock services on top of it. Xfinity this, Xfinity that. It's a win-win situation for them. It's a win-win situation. A lot of people are not picking up on this. I'm telling you, your commentator, your favorite YouTuber right now is not covering this shit. They are not talking about this. They're not going into depth. Business insiders have said this. I've watched Sean Ross Sapp. He had a business insider in. He's to date. He knows what he's talking about. That guy and his other dude that run the site, Fightful, they know what they're talking about. Seriously, they had business insiders literally going into depth why AEW is going to start moving more over to streaming than starting to get out slowly out of the out of the business. That's what Warner Brothers wants to do. The reason what they're doing, they're testing the waters with simulcasting because they want to see how many motherfuckers go and they subscribe. How many subscriptions can they get? How many ones get the ads? Because eventually, and I say this now, if cable television keeps dying, I see AEW being exclusively on the Max app in the next, before their deal ends. If cable television keeps going the way they're going. I may be wrong. I may be putting the wrong bet on it, and I may be seeing things wrong, but at the end of the day, some of you got to stop. Yeah, that's why they hired Pat. That's why Roj, one of the biggest NBA reporters, walked out of the ESPN. You know why he walked out of ESPN? Because it's not about analyst stuff is dying. It's all about the new mainstream media who can appeal to millennials and Gen Zs and Ys. Pat McAfee rakes in the money for them. Rakes in the money for ESPN. ESPN is literally anything that Pat McAfee does at this point on ESPN just rakes them in money. He could say the most dumbest shit and be a Skip Bayless as the guy's rolling in money for them. Rolling in money. That's why you see them doing streaming shit with them. That's why you see them on College Game Day. The views are up on their streaming platforms and people are buying subscriptions just to watch this man. That's why this man can control his narrative on whatever he fucking wants to do. That's why he controlled his contract the way he did. That's why he said when he was going to walk out of ESPN, ESPN had a stroke. Why? Because there goes your subscriptions. He had them by the balls a long time ago. That's why Shannon Sharp, Club Shay Shay, that's why if he ever wants to go negotiate for a TV rights deal or a streaming rights deal with DraftKings or anything, the ball's in his court. He can request whatever money because he makes that revenue. And I could say that because he has said that openly on his channel over and over again, that he can control the narrative. He can control how much money he can make. Dan Le Batard, for instance. Let's talk about Dan Le Batard for a second too. This is another thing that people don't understand. And I'm sorry, this stuff is boring. I get it, but I have to be that guy. I have to be your Lamar Burton of doing this because I think YouTube needs to hear this, and I think social media needs to hear this. Because AEW, they're just getting ready for the future. That's why they got a 3-year deal, and what people are not talking about either, they have a 3-year deal. The 3rd year is a negotiation year. Did you know? Did you guys pick up on that? Did you guys not pick up on that? 3rd year is a negotiation year. Did you not pick up on that? So AEW can make more money in the 3rd year and some in the 3rd. And the deal states that if they negotiate, they can get another year on top of that, more money. So it's not just 150. In the 3rd year, they can make more money. Here's another thing that people are upset about, pay-per-view buys. They went the way, and I had somebody had to explain it to me. They went the way of UFC. UFC does that. Wouldn't be surprised in the next couple of years, Barstool has or is on streaming service. Yeah, Barstool should be. Dave Portnoy is great. I like Dave Portnoy. I look up to that. I will say this, Dave Portnoy is one of them that I look up to because you know what? That guy just doesn't give a fuck. I will say it to any one of you. I like Dave Portnoy. I like his pizza reviews. I like he does his give a fuck attitude. That's what I want to be. Like I honestly, when it comes to wrestling, it's like I'm here for the people that want to be here. Honestly, I don't give a fuck about views and whatnot. I mean, the reason I'm talking about it today is because it's a sore topic with everybody and people are needing to be educated on the matter. It's just a fact. We need to talk about this because it's like a lot of people that I've been seeing on X putting innuendos out there and saying things like, for instance, if you go read this, I'll read you one. Let's read this. And this is coming from the guy that I responded to yesterday about his fucking things. He posts a Raj Giri and he says, I don't care anymore. They got their money. They'll be they will be the trend and their fan base will continue to be brainwashed by management. Happy 5-year anniversary. That's not true. That's not true. And again, if we're being brainwashed, why am I here talking about views being down on WWE and streaming views altogether being down? Like, again, you need to have, like, a lot of these constituents of mine, and a lot of these big YouTubes, like Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff can't talk anymore. He should stop talking about AEW because he's the same dude that kept saying how this, that, and the third was happening. Meanwhile, he's the same guy on a docuseries that was shitting all over anything he could find just to make money. This guy's all about money. Dollar bills, y'all. He ain't about us wrestling fans. Vince Russo would sell his soul just to make a couple bucks on a documentary shitting on something. Of course. Same with Dave Meltzer, same with all these people. That's why I tell you guys, don't take what you don't listen, don't sit there back and listen to that rhetoric. And a lot of them are talking about back in my day. Well, back in my day, it was different. I have to tell it to my mom sometimes. Like back in the 90s, it was different than it is 2000s. Times have changed. Times have motherfucking changed. The cable industry is dying. I never thought DirecTV and fucking Dish Network would merge. I never thought Dish Network would turn into Boost Mobile. I never thought in a million years that I would just have an Apple TV sitting on my entertainment console and I'd be using the Apple remote and clicking and be no cables at all in a box. And it's just Wi-Fi and I just use what I need to use. Or Ethernet. Here, I'll do this for you guys. Here's your reality. I'm going to show you reality. This is your fucking reality. And I'm going to show you guys this real quick. So I'm going to unmute my camera now. So here it is. Here's your reality. This is cable television right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is an on-streaming 4K box. And let me tell you guys, this is the future. I'm showing you the future. This is your future. This is what Microsoft's going to. This is what Sony's potentially going to be in the next 10 years. Trust me. Streaming is the future. I'm telling you, it's been the future. I've said this since 2015. I told you when Netflix started getting bigger and they started taking away packages for renting DVDs, physical media is dying. That's why we're having a problem right now with people taking content away. We don't own our content anymore. Those days are over. A lot of people don't realize this. We don't own our content. We're condemning ourselves that we've made it that way. Wrestling people don't realize. Wrestling channels and things like that haven't realized that we're fighting over we're fighting over TV channels. That's old. I would say if this was the 90s, okay, cool. We should be fighting. We should be fighting over television and fighting over who was better in the ratings. That's no more. No more. Stephen A. Smith has said it. It doesn't matter anymore. Companies are going to go buy what they want to buy. Look at Apple TV. Apple TV went out and purchased the MLS to be exclusive on their network to sell subscriptions. Apple has the best subscription right now. They don't even charge for ads. $9.99 a month, and you get the MLB Friday night. You get Friday night baseball. You get I think you get Saturday night baseball from them too. Again, it's gonna come down to it. And by the way, before somebody tells me, and I'm gonna read this real quick. Times are changing. Matter if you like it or not. We have accepted what changes are. Well, again, People don't realize, and here's another one. People like, well, WWE went up in views. Why are you not talking about that for NXT? Okay, let's talk about that. Okay, CW is regularly available through airwave television, and those views count. That's a fun fact for you guys. So you can get nationwide CW through rabbit ears or airwaves. You can. You can go out to Target and whatnot, go out and buy. What, this bug all over my fucking stuff? Get away from me, Nat. God damn. You can go out and buy at a Target or a Walmart. You can go out and quite literally and have your local channel. CW is considered a local channel, by the way. It's not just so that's why the viewership went up. There's a lot of people that can get it. That's why they attracted 200,000 or 100,000 more people. It's not because they were debuting. It's because CW has more of a reach than USA does, because locally, CW is available locally. If I want to go watch CW, I can go watch it locally. Seriously. It's part of a lot of local packages too. Like, a lot of people don't realize that. When you go and look at these streaming TV services, correct me if I'm wrong, but like YouTube TV, Fubo, and a lot of them, you can go and get CW locally. Like, it's included for free. It's not a paid-in package. So what you're getting from the reason why CW is doing all these game shows and everything with LeVar Burton and all this and what you saw is because WWE, more and more people are going to tune in, so they're trying to spice up their network. That's why you saw the CW go out and purchase some ACC stuff. That's why you're seeing football on CW, college ball. That's why you're seeing it a lot more. CW got smart. CW's been smart. The only thing they weren't smart about is going and getting the right wrestling company. They got the NWA, but that's on their streaming app. I mean, NWA fucked up. They should have been the one, but Billy Corgan fucked up. Let's just be real here. And I'm sorry. I got some NWA fans that are in there. I don't know how you can watch Power every week. I don't know how you stomach it. It's actually, it reminds me, no joke, of Dixie Carter Impact. It's so bad. It's not even funny. EC3, I don't know what the fuck are we doing with that man? That man should be in AEW or WWE, back in WWE. This man is so being mistreated. Like, it's a joke. He looks like he's homeless when he comes out in the ring, bro. It's so sad. It's the most saddest thing that I've ever seen. And every time I just want to get up and jump through the screen and just give EC3 a hug, because I love him to pieces and he shouldn't be in NWA. NXT will likely have less viewers in the next couple of weeks. Well, it depends. Like I said, I have a lot of neighbors that have over the air. Like, over the air, you can get the CW, and people, and they're older. My neighbors are older, okay? They don't give a fuck. They'll watch it anyway. So you guys got to think about it in this way. You got people that are not giving a fuck and just have the CW on just to have the CW on. So you got those kind of viewers. Then you got the casual wrestling fan, and then you got people that are just bored that want to tune into something. You know, that's what a lot of these fucking wrestling channels don't understand. It's not so much the casuals anymore. It's becoming like, oh, I left the channel on and whoops, my bad. So over the air, a lot like football, for instance, like Monday Night Football, the reason why they do the numbers they do is because people have it over the air and they're putting it on local television. Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, the reason why they got the 2.5, because overall on your local channels, most people have local channels and most people can watch the local stuff. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. And NXT will do better and better and better as the weeks go by. I'm just impressed how they got 100,000 more people to watch. And for people to say it wasn't a successful show, I mean, WWE will turn around and tell you different. They got the ad revenue. They got what they wanted. And it's not just because, more and more people can tune in. A lot of people didn't have USA Network. A lot of people didn't have, like, you know, people gotta understand that world areas, internet sucks. So a lot of them do over-the-air stuff, like over-the-air TV, over-the-air things. So a lot of people got to realize that. Like, world areas, we're talking about forest. We're talking about the ones that just don't have a way to have access to YouTube TV, or a lot of these streaming TV services are not available in areas. And, you know, I watch a lot of channels that talk about this, and that's why they're bringing in Starlink and AT&T over the air. That's why they're doing things. Well, Nick Aldis left because he got in a disagreement with fucking Billy Corgan. And that guy was your centerpiece, and you botched that. Who was the other guy they had? What's his name? The teacher, Tom something rather. They had him there, and they had great matches between him and they botched that. Like, Billy Corgan keeps talking about how he wants to keep NWA away from future proofing, but he has to adapt. He doesn't adapt. He still thinks for some odd reason that the old school wrestling fan from the 80s is going to come back and watch a nostalgia product, and I'm telling you, they're not. Those people have long and gone. I'm not wanting to see an 80s old school retro show. I'm sorry to tell you that. I just don't. That's why I'm hoping with Saturday night's main event, when they do it in December, I'm hoping they keep somewhat of a retro vibe, but new age retro. I don't need them to do the whole, like, I'm living back in the 80s and I need you to play Phil Collins in the air tonight or something. I just need you to keep the nostalgia a little bit and give me some new. It doesn't have to be all the same. I don't need you to keep to the source material that you had in the 80s. Don't get me wrong. I would like to see the intro be cool, like maybe a modern intro of what that was. But I don't want it to be too retro or too modern. I want it to be in the middle. And I think WWE could do that. But for the love of God, do not do any more hip hop. If I hear a hip hop, if I hear Usher come out and or better at what's his name? Machine Gun Kelly doing some country shit, I'm going to lose my mind. I am just going to lose my mind. And you're going to see me come up on a video on a review and go, Saturday night's main event. And my God, what an intro. Fucking sucks. I just wish WWE would go back to some of those metal tones, man. Some of those good things. I wouldn't even mind if they used Jelly Roll and had Jelly Roll do an intro for them. You know, like, I wouldn't mind. I like Jelly Rolls. So, like, why not? I'd be okay with that. Oh, okay. We've been live for 51 minutes. Again, so we're going to talk about this. We're going to get into it. So, outside of AEW being down on Raw, 9:30, this is the Bad Blood go home show, right? What a lot of people don't want to understand. So this is the go home show. Raw started out averaging 1.5. Okay, 1.5. At the end of the night, they went down to 1.2, 1.3. Keep in mind, Raw is not that far below AEW. I'm waiting for somebody to tell me that. If Raw keeps sliding, are we going to say basically Raw is the new AEW? Are we going to do that too next? Because the demographics here, and I know views don't matter, but Raw's going down a downward slope, and so is SmackDown. Like I told you guys, this has to do with people cutting the cord. It's not because people don't like the product. It's because people are cutting the cord. People can't afford it anymore. Who can afford $79 a month? I'm paying $120 a month for DirecTV stream. I'm not. Somebody in this house is, but I kind of help them here and there with it, and it's expensive. And now with them talking about a price hike, I can't afford $140. For streaming TV service with all the bells and whistles, I like my sports, but I don't like it that much. To say $140 worth? And I know, and I want to say this to the people, these tribalists and these casual fans, and I know some of you are going to sit here. I know I'm not appealing to a narrative. I'm supposed to be appealing to this narrative of AEW's down, ha ha ha, they suck, they're dying. WWE's down, they're dying. Triple H can't book her. No, why? I'm not that person, but I will come on here and I will educate and I will talk about the why these views are dying, because nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room is people are cutting the cord. That's a fact. DirecTV just came out and said they lost, I think, 12 million or 11 million people. Dish Network said they're at the lowest of lows. Like Sling TV was bankrupting them from their, what they really want to be is Boost Mobile. We switched from Fubo to Hulu, and our family likes it so much better. Yeah, a lot of people are cutting the cords. A lot of people are trying to find cheaper options. A lot of people, like, I'm having to look for a cheaper option. You know, us as in family, you know, we watch a lot of TV, and I'm not going to deny I still watch TV. I get on my Apple TV a lot. I'm on YouTube a lot. I watch a lot of YouTube, in fact. I watch restore videos. I watch car wash videos. I'm constantly watching something on YouTube, burger videos, mukbangs. I'm a YouTube connoisseur. Outside of streaming, I am watching so much YouTube. It's not even funny. And if I see you guys have a YouTube channel and you're watching content, I'm watching your content. Why? Because I watch YouTube. I don't have YouTube Premium, but I stomach the ads, but I don't mind. I don't mind because I watch a lot of YouTube, and a lot of the content on YouTube appeals to me. Next app that I will watch a lot of, and I'm being dead ass serious, is Peacock. I sit and watch Peacock because they're the home of the Big Ten, I think. No. Yes, for night games. I do turn on Peacock for those reasons. And there's a lot of good shows on Peacock that I like. And yeah, I don't like the fact when they do a WWE pay-per-view that it sucks on the consoles, but I have an Apple TV that works very well. So, like, to me, I have generation behind the newer box of Apple TV, and it works fine. The other thing that I watch is ESPN Plus. That's my other app because I like tennis. And when tennis is happening, they put a lot of it under ESPN Plus. So I have to go and tune in, and especially what happened with the DirecTV and ESPN shit, I had to go and get ESPN Plus just to watch US Open. Yeah, I mean, I'm considering switching to YouTube Premium just because I liked YouTube Premium because it gave me everything that I wanted, ads plus free shows that I could watch. If you have one of these Android TV, you get the free with Premium. What they don't talk about is you get some nice channels for free, like local stuff, some old shows. Like I do watch my Battlestar Galacticas and my Star Treks. You know, I know some of you are in my age group. I'm 33, so I still, you know, being at home and living at home with my family. And I know people are going to make fun of me for that, but I take care of my moms. There's a difference. I do the grocery shopping. I do the things. You know, you do what you got to do for your moms. I tell this to everybody. I know a lot of people turn around and go, you know, and plus I live in a big house. So I like I tell you guys, I have 6 rooms. So it's better than living in an apartment that I was living in years ago and paying a couple thousand here in California and having, I don't know, I just felt cramped. You know, I had to go out to do my laundry. I had to take the bus a lot because I didn't drive, and it was a big pain in the ass. And it's just, to me, living at home is so much easier. It's like I can cook when I want. I don't have to step over roommates. I don't have to go crazy. So, and again, I will say this now. If I was living out on my own, I would have streaming services. There's no doubt about it. I just moved. So guys, making this announcement today on this very channel. I went from US Mobile to Visible. So Visible Mobile, we are on Visible. Or did my phone just die? Or did I turn it off? I turned it off. It didn't die. So Visible, there will be a reference code down below. So if you guys are looking for cheap service, if you go with their entry-level service, you save $20. So it's unlimited everything. Just remember, you're on the Verizon network. You're on the premium Verizon network. But if you're on their entry-level service, you will get throttled ever so slightly. So it is owned and distributed by Verizon. I don't know why they treat it as a separate company. It's actually Verizon's second company. And I get Verizon's premium data. Currently I'm getting that ultra wide on my iPhone 13 mini, ultra wide. And I can confirm today, I'm getting 900 down with 100 up. So if I have ever in a spot that my fiber goes down, I have unlimited hotspots. So I could just put it on top of my PC here, and I have Wi-Fi on my PC, and I could still be good to go. So if you guys are looking for cheap service, and you also get Verizon's home internet, like you get like $20 off if you go with their premium service. I have their premium service for the month because they are having a sell. I moved back to Visible. So if you guys want to use my premium code, feel free. If you want to support this channel, it helps pay the bills. That helps me out tremendously. Also, too, if you guys are looking for a new service, if you guys are one of the people that switch between services and you don't want to pay the big guys or your phone's already paid off, look into Visible. Go sign up. Visible Plus, you get it for $22. $22, you get ultra wide for 1 month. Totally worth it for a lot of people that are paying for regular Verizon. I know some people are paying $80, $90 for Verizon, and don't do that to yourself. Save yourself a buck. And also, if you're also on T-Mobile and you're paying a shit ton of money, take a look into US Mobile. Now, US Mobile does not give you unlimited hotspot. They give you 30 gigs of hotspot. So, again, like I said, check them out. Look them up. US Mobile's, they partner with 3 different networks, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. And you can switch between the carriers on the fly through their app. So it's pretty cool. And they were really nice to me. The unfortunate part why I switched back to Visible is because their service is just king to me for the price. For $25, and if I'm in an area that's congested by Verizon people, I don't mind my speed being throttled a little bit, to be honest with you, because I just use my phone. I don't use my phone like that. Like I'm not having to be on my phone 24/7. You know what I mean? I just want to be able to be when I'm in a store like Walmart, Target, GameStop, whatever, or I'm taking a package back at Amazon return. I just want to be able to have somewhat data so I can have them scan and I can do price matching on the fly when I'm in a store. I don't use my phone like that. Like people go, well, you have one of the nicer iPhone 13s. Why don't you? And I'm like, I used to play games on my phone, but the problem is with my phone is that it gets really warm. And I don't like how people are like, oh, you should get this and you should get that. It's like, yeah, but I like my phone being in a nice slimline case. I don't drop my phone often. I take care of my phone. And, you know, I just got the Apple Watch Series 9. This thing is nice. I love it. I've had it for 6 months. I've had it for a year now. And or 6 months, I think, or a year. I bought the entry level. I bought the entry level 44 millimeter, whatever. I love my iPhone. Let's put it that way. My next phone won't be an iPhone though, and unfortunately, I do want a bigger screen, and I kind of want to. I've been with Apple for 2 decades now. As far as since 2007, when the very first iPhone came out, I skipped out only twice. I've skipped out on the last couple of phones recently, but I've skipped out on a lot of stuff. I forgot to realize that with the TNA NXT partnership is that TNA can appear in bigger networks and get more exposure. Yeah, and they're probably getting paid more. That's one thing that people are not picking up on. They get probably paid more. and get more exposure. Plus, TNA events are selling out faster because of it. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if TNA started shopping their network around or started shopping their stuff around to get on a bigger television, TV rights. Another thing that people need to be prepared for is where are we going to see Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling? And I got to see, when is Maple Leaf doing their event? Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. When's their events? When is their first event happening? Their first event is happening Saturday, October, and Sunday, October 20th, and it's going to be live on Triller. Okay. We'll be doing a watch along of that if I can find it somewhere or I can get it. We'll figure it out. But like I said, I'm really excited for NXT or for Maple Leaf Pro. I hope they succeed. I hope they do well. I want them to succeed because I do, honestly, and I'm going to be real with you guys, and this is a hot take. I really thought Scott D'Amore got fucked out of TNA. I do want to see Maple Leaf succeed, and I do want to see Maple Leaf on a major network. I know that's going to take time, but I want to see them succeed. I like Mario Ronaldo, and I like Don Callis a lot. I do want to see a third. I want to see a third major player. I know Scott D'Amore has billions of dollars to spend. He has said this on podcasts that he's worth a lot of money. He owns some casinos and things like that out in Canada, and he does major real estate stuff for big clients. I heard that he from when I was listening in podcasts, that he works for a lot of big people in Canada. So I would like to see him get on a big fucking network. I would like to see him succeed for once. I thought Scott D'Amore has been the dark horse of wrestling for a while. I thought he should have been picked up by somebody a long time ago. Anyway, I'm getting off track on the TV views. I know I talked about my sponsor, Visible. If you guys don't know what Visible is, it's owned by Verizon. If you have, I don't know what you guys have, T-Mobile, Verizon. It depends on the area. I will be making a video eventually. I wouldn't be surprised. If Josh Alexander. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised with that. Josh Alexander's been loyal to Scott D'Amore since the Impact Wrestling days, when the ending of Impact Wrestling, when they changed the name to TNA. Yeah, Josh Alexander's been very, very animate about Scott D'Amore. Very, very animate about Scott D'Amore. He has so much love for him. But then I wouldn't be surprised if NXT tried to sign him for, or WWE in general, or AEW tried to sign him for a shit ton of money. I wouldn't be surprised. And let's talk about that. A lot of you are talking about Ricochet today. Stop talking about AEW talent. Like, seriously, like, he didn't put on a good match against Will Ospreay. I'm going to tell you guys this. And I'm going to tell you guys this straight up, just like Julia. And I'm going to keep it a buck with you. You don't have wrestlers come in and win 3 matches or 4 and not even have a cup of coffee and win your major titles. Vince never did that, by the way. Let me tell you that. Vince never did that. Triple H and Tony Khan do that all the time. Eric Bischoff did not do that. He did not give a belt straight off the rip to somebody. Again, I don't understand this new age shit. Like, a lot of you just want belts to be given away to whatever, and there's no ownership. The only time I've seen it in the last 2-3 years is when they belt up Kofi Kingston and when they belt up Cody Rhodes and somewhat Roman Reigns. Those are the 3. Since then, they just give belts to give belts. They don't really build up talent like they used to. And a lot of people don't pick up on that. It's like, we're just giving belts to give belts away now. Like, it doesn't matter what title it is. It could be shit on a brick title. And, oh, here, because this guy needs it, we just got to, oh, he had 1 match. We got to give it to him. That's why the FTW I didn't care for. It didn't mean anything to me. I didn't care for it. Because AEW made it that way. They just kept flip-flopping it between people. They didn't make it prestigious. There was no story behind it. It's the same how I feel about the Continental Belt. They did not give... They're making Okada look like a glorified jobber. And no wonder why he screamed out during the after the match was over. And you can hear it. They tried to blurp it. But he said, fuck. and you can hear him being upset, visibly upset. He's not happy. And there's a reason for it, because you've made that title, you've made him glorified a bitch. You've made him, technically speaking, glorified sideline guy and like a spectacle here and there. This guy should be beating people up. He was pretty much New Japan Pro Wrestling royalty. You should be building this guy up, not fucking putting him in trash. Oh, yeah, go ahead. You want to ask a question? Go ahead. Go ahead. Hope you're doing well, homie. Yeah, exactly. Win a belt immediately in the company. Yeah. I don't like that shit, period, point blank. I could care. I give a fuck about that shit. That's why I was happy Ricochet didn't win. And I don't want that, because then what did you do? The whole point with what was the whole point of having the MJF feud with Will Ospreay to begin with? What were you gonna do with that? If you have a question, go ahead and shoot. I'm all down for questions today. I want to be on here a little longer, and then I'm gonna get to game streaming for the day. And stream my ass off over on Twitch and Kick. Feel free, ask away. The court is you guys. If you guys want to ask me questions, feel free. It doesn't have to be wrestling related. Please don't make it religion or politics. That's all I ask. You can ask me anything you guys want. In means. You can ask me about food. You can ask me about what do I think about the NFL. You can ask me anything. Feel free. I'll open up the floor for the last few minutes of me being live here. Feel free. I'll let some of you guys hear. So the picture of your thumbnail, I noticed the service at AEW is on TBS. I already knew about TNT. I already know about now AEW is on Max. That's my question. Can people that have Max watch AEW? Yes. Yes. You'll be able to watch AEW on Max. In fact, in January, they're going to be simulcasting Collision and Dynamite over on at the same time as it's happening on TV. So if you're on the West Coast, you'll be able to see it at the same time as East Coast and vice versa. So if you're in like Florida or New York, you'll be able to watch it at the same time as I'll be able to watch it at the same time. So yes. Also, too, if you are wondering about pay-per-views is not going to be free on the Max. So you will get a discount. So, for instance, if you are wanting to watch a pay-per-view, you will get a heavy discount. So I don't know what the discount's going to be. They did say that's subject to change. I'm wondering if they're going to get some blowback for that. They're kind of taking a page from UFC's book. So I'm assuming a $60 pay-per-view will probably be $30. I'm assuming for non-ads and regular ads. And if you have ads, you'll get ads during the pay-per-view. Probably. So I'm assuming that's how they're going to subsidize it. Or what they'll do is you'll get more of a discount if you're a non-ad user compared to an ad user. I don't know how they're going to make that work. But that's how pay-per-views are going. That's what articles have stated, that's what they're doing. They're going to be literally pay-per-views are not going to be a free thing. It's not included. The tape library will be included. Ring of Honor, they have said nothing about that yet, where Ring of Honor is going to go. I think Tony Khan is, like I said in my video, Tony Khan is still shopping that around. So I clearly can't tell you what they're going to be doing. I do know Dynamite and Collision are going to be on the Max app, and the 5 years of AEW is going to be on the Max app. But the caveat is, and where they're getting that $170 million price tag is it's because of the royalties of the tape library and all that. So that's where they're making up the extra 20 million. So when you see 170 million or 150, 150 is in principle, and then the 170 is going to be the pay-per-views and all the other revenue that goes alongside of it. So it's bonus money. So grand total, they're making roughly about 800 million, give or take. The other thing that people need to be watching out for is, I'm hearing Ring of Honor on True TV are being talked about. Interesting. That is interesting. That is very interesting to me. Hopefully Ring of Honor gets a deal. I would like to see them True TV or through TNT Sports, because I know True TV is being repackaged next year during the bowl season. I know TNT Sports said those playoff games are going to rename. They're going to rename that channel into True Sports or TNT Sports. I heard they're going to be doing that, or they're going to be doing that during Mega March Madness. One of the two. By the way, NBA is still going to be on TNT, by the way, for one more year. So just keep that in mind. One more year of the NBA on TNT. So TNT is going to have the revenue. So with the NBA for one more year. So this year's the last year of the NBA on TNT. So get prepared. Next year. So not this year, but next year. So in 2026, that's when the Peacock and the NBA on Prime and all that happens. The WNBA this year, next year, 2025, it's moving over to Amazon Prime. So there you go. And Peacock. That'll be the two homes for the WNBA next year, which is great. I think some of it's going to be on ESPN. I think, but I think the majority of it's going to be on both of those. So that's going to be interesting in itself. Sorry, I got to take a swig of my coffee. My iced coffee. My pumpkin spice, guys. Pumpkin spice. I know, I'm a savage. Pumpkin spice. I love me pumpkin spice. Guys, I'm a big pumpkin fan. Like, I'll tell you guys what, I love myself some pumpkin pie. I know some people don't like pumpkin everything, but I do. I don't mind it. I only do it seasonal. I don't do it all the time. I have to have my pumpkin spice every day. No. I'm more of just coffee and creamer, and I'm good. Just give me coffee and some creamer. I'm good to go. Sometimes I do the peppermint chocolate stuff a little bit, just a splash. Not much. But getting back to any other questions. Feel free to ask questions all day long. Feel free. Ask me anything. The time is now. Ask me anything. Feel free. Do you see the WNBA with... Okay, well, I had this conversation with my mom, right? So the conversation, because she was asking me what my feelings was, because she somewhat watches my YouTube channel, right? She somewhat watches my stuff, right? And she says I have like this analytical mind. And she asked me, what do you think about this year's season? I've been watching the WNBA since the inception of the league back in 1996. And the Comets were around. And the Comets were the best thing since sliced bread. A lot of people don't pick up on this. Before there was a Kate and Clark, there were the Comets. And the Comets would win every fucking year. I would go to games just for the Comets because they were just so good. The WNBA, the problem is right now they put everything into Kate and Clark. And for reasons. She's making them hand over fist. But the WNBA, the double-ended sword with that is when she was eliminated, now the views are down. Everything's down. And the players that they should have been building, this women's movement, revolution of the WNBA, they didn't. And views are down everywhere. Stewart should have been built up. The chick from San Antonio should have been built up. They didn't. They put everything into Kate and Clark, so I can understand why some of the women's talent in the WNBA is pissed off. I get it. But that's the WNBA's fault. They didn't build around people. They built around one person because she was bringing in stadiums worth of people and money was being drawn, but it wasn't all just her. That's, I think, a lot of people are missing out on. Yeah, she had a wonderful season. Yeah, she got into where she needed to get to. But again, the trajectory of the WNBA, they got to build these megastars. They got to start building like the NBA, these megastars, these mega places. If they're expanding the league to Canada, Seattle, They're bringing back, things and teams from back in the past, and they're going to have more of a season. And then that's not even including the league that Steve Nash and a few others are building for women after the league is over, their version of the Big Three. Then what they really need to do is they need to emphasize the WNBA needs to have superstars, and they just don't. They're building Caitlin Clark, great. Clayton Clark mania will end eventually. And when Caitlin Clark's luster and the shiny goes away, and what are they going to be? They gotta build talent. They gotta build their stars, and they got so many good stars on the WNBA. It's not even funny. They should be building. They should be building, and they're not building. And that's the problem. They put around Caitlin Clark. They didn't build anybody else. For instance, why did they not build up what's her face? Oh my God, she's part of Phoenix. Brittany Griner. Why did they not build up her and the whole fact that she came back to America and made her into a sensation? To me, I just don't understand that. I really just don't get that. Candace Parker's another one. Why are we not building Candace Parker? Or is she even in the league anymore? Is she in the league anymore, or is she retired? No, she's still in the league. She's with the Las Vegas. Why are we not building these superstars? That's the one thing that I have fear with the UFL. The UFL should be building their stars. The UFL should already be halfway into the NFL season, already giving you the Rock should be automatically hitting you hard with get into some of the UFL players. There was a bunch of them. Toby Johnson, Luis Perez. There's so many. Exactly. Like that. I know who she is. She should. Yeah, exactly. A lot of these people in the WNBA should be transcended. Don't get me wrong. I like Caitlin Clark. And a lot of people tell me I'm a hater. I'm not a hater. It's just they put everything into her. And you have a lot of the people that were hating on ESPN got fired, but I understand their criticisms though. I get both sides of that argument, but I don't think she's a fucking bad player. I think she came into the league at the right time. You have a lot of young women that it's the same thing I say about Taylor Swift. You have a lot of Swifties that look up to this woman to be everything. I did the same thing when I was a kid. I did the same thing as a kid. Mr. T to The Rock, Stone Cold, even Shane McMahon. I even turned around and I said, I want to be that. I want to be that guy. I want to be lucky as Shane McMahon. I want to go Jeff Hardy. I want to be Daredevilist, Steve-O. I want to be able to go through glass like Steve-O and come out the other side being cool. That's the thing that people don't realize as a kid. Like for instance, Mia Hamm. When I was a kid, Mia Hamm, the 99 soccer team, right? I lived that. And if you guys lived that like me, it was brilliant. It was amazing. Oh man, Mia Hamm. Oh my God, she's so good at what she does. People don't realize that, women's sports is becoming a thing, and it's a good thing. It should be. It should be. Another thing, like I said about the UFL, AJ McCarron. Why are we not building up for the next UFL season? You know what I mean? AJ McCarron, Jordan Tumu. Why are we not building up for the next season? Yeah, exactly. When they're doing the double featurement in video games for the WNBA or 3-point contest or the skills contest, right? They're bringing in WNBA stars for the skills contest or the celebrity games. Why did they use it as an opportunity to make it a sensational thing? You know what I mean? The WNBA, again, the WNBA was never that way, though. See, fortunately, in the 90s, the WNBA were owned and distributed by the same owners that owned NBA teams. So what they did was, like Chicago Bulls would do, the owner would own, I think the Houston Rockets guy, the original owner, before he sold the team, he would have the comments. They would be in papers. They would be on, like, before there was YouTube, they were on ESPN. They did documentary stuff. They got you hyped. They don't do it so much anymore. It's just not happening. It's just the WNBA's changed, and the way the ownership is not owned by NBA owners anymore. It's owned by third parties and smaller ownerships and smaller things. And the problem is, and a lot of the viewerships and markets are not great, and that's the unfortunate part. And when Caitlin Clark came in around, because she was my mom doesn't watch NBA. My mom watches the NBA, watches only for the playoffs, and towards the end of the season. My mom was all into Caitlin Clark. Had no idea about, well, she knew what the WNBA was, knew what it was more of the spectacle, the underdog story for her. And it was for a lot of women. Like, you could persevere through anything and be anything. You could be like Mike. It was kind of like, it reminded me of Be Like Mike. The whole thing when I was a kid, when he came back from baseball. And I didn't get Michael Jordan at the beginning of his career. I got him towards the end because I was born. Welcome back, Charlie. Hope you're doing well, homie. But my point is my point. My point is the WNBA, the problem is with them is they're getting all this money, they're getting all this stuff, but they're not putting emphasis into players, and it's going to come to backfire. It's going to come to hurt them, honestly, for real, for real. Speaking of, hopefully AEW figures out their video game because they need to. Hopefully they get a new developer. And I hope they don't use fucking the Fight Forever engine because that shit was horrible. Don't. Please don't. All right, we're going to go and we're going to look around here. Dr. Britt Baker. Let's see what Britt Baker is saying. I thought that entrance from Britt Baker was pretty brilliant. I don't know why people shit on Britt Baker. I just think Britt Baker's been coming through injuries and whatnot, personally, and I think Dr. Britt Baker needs time. When you've had 2 strokes, take it from somebody that had COVID really bad and had to go to rehab and whatnot, and reteach, had to go and reteach my nerves and stuff to do the things, because when you have COVID as bad as I did, shit happens, paralysis happen and shit like that. People don't understand how COVID works when you've been so sick, so bad for so long. You have to go and get rehab. And I've had family members that have had mini strokes. And let me tell you, it takes a long time. It's not just something that happens overnight. And again, Britt Baker could have another mini stroke. Look at Frankie Muniz. I mean, Frankie Muniz had to stop his NASCAR career or his Formula One career because of it. Chris Bosh. Take a look at Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh has Chris what did I say? It's Chris Bosh. I hope I'm saying his name right. I love Chris Bosh. He was after Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter Sanity that happened in Toronto. He was the next guy. He was the next chosen one that they built around. It was so sad to see when he could have won more trophies. But unfortunately, with his blood clot issue, he could never be the same again. And that was unfortunate. Alonzo Mourning was another one. There's a rumor that Kenny Omega is helping to bring a new video game vendor from Japan to make their games good stuff. Hopefully. I'm scared of Kenny Omega when it comes to video games, man. I'm hoping that Kenny Omega owes us a video game right now. I'm telling you. He dropped the ball completely. Like, Fight Forever was fucking bad. I bought the game day one. It was not that great. It's a party game, yes, but it wasn't that great. There was no story mode. There was no creative player. There was no really... It was lackluster. I'm not going to shit on it entirely because it was their first video game offering, and I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but on the second one, it better be fucking fantastic. It better be fucking sweet. They better be giving us some fan service, because if they don't, man, I don't think AEW should make any more video games. I think they should stay away from video games completely until they get it right. That's why I said Kenny Omega and Aubrey, like, honestly, I've said Aubrey should be the one doing the decision making, because she's educated for that. But honestly, if I'm Tony Khan, I would bring in a private person to make their video game. I would have Kenny Omega and Aubrey make the final decision, but I would have somebody else that has the know-how to make fighting games. Cody Rhodes being in the game was interesting. Yeah, well, that was done before Cody Rhodes left the company, though, months before. And then they delayed the game for a while there. So, yeah, that's what happened there. Man, I'm watching that... I'm watching Britt Baker and that terrible towel thing. I thought that was fucking cool. And I'm not even a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. So, according to reports, and this is coming from somebody else, so somebody here, like, so there's so many people. I'll read this one. This one's interesting. So this guy is such a hater, got hatred. You got people reposting wrestle votes. It's actually 185 million. Okay, that makes sense. 185 million per year. That makes sense. This guy bought some Bob Dylan guy goes, such a joke of a company. I give them 1 to 2 years before they pack up things. It's not true. Yeah, she should. I'm surprised Bret Hart still. I'm surprised Bret Hart. Like, literally, if I was like, I don't understand that. Right? I get Bret Hart's. He said he was under a Legends deal, and I get it. I get WWE's trying to make things right with him, but honestly, I would stick it to him. That's just me, though. So this guy writes, here's another one that's been like, I love it. So let's write about it. Women's wrestling rundown for Dynamite October 2nd. Dr. Britt Baker, Serena Deeb's 11 minutes and 37 seconds. Women's wrestlers appearing 7. Division segments 3. Time in minutes 19. Grade C. Let's keep reading this. 3 minutes and 45 of Serena Deeb versus Britt Baker in picture. Okay. Why is this person mad? Why that's so petty. This is the shit I'm talking about on X. It's so fucking petty. Like, you're that petty. Man, you need to go see some of the women's stuff that's happening on Monday Night Raw then, man. You got maybe I should make a video where I have my Apple Watch on and we do a time spot and I start timing it from the minute go. A Rhea Ripley one, and go, 3 minutes and something for Rhea Ripley. Yeah. WWE's trash. And I should just make a short on it. I should. Just as a joke. If you have to, let me read this one. Same dude writes, again, Mercedes Moné and Camille were backstage for an interview with Reese, which turned into Mercedes playing a video package highlighting that were all about her. MVP stopped by and at the end gave her a card. Man, I just don't understand. I just don't understand X, man. I just don't get it, man. I don't get X anymore. I don't. Here's another one that everybody's going on about, and this is another one. Is Shane McMahon going to show up in AEW? I think that is going to be happening at this point. Too many people are talking about it, and now with the TV rights deal that they have plenty of money to go spend. So what I would do is, I think he's been signed, sealed, and delivered. I just think they were waiting for some type of a contract, or waiting for that TV rights deal. I think that's what Bobby Lashley too. I think they've been waiting for TV stuff to happen for a minute. So I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked if Shane McMahon walks in, but he better have some type of power and some bargaining chips with that. Oh, let's see. What else do we got going on here before I get out of here? The Rock is trending. Of course, he's trending. On Friday, he's trending. Because people think The Rock's going to be showing up. Hopefully he does. They kind of need him at this point. AEW Wrestle Dream. Will Ospreay, Ricochet, and Kadeshita was made official. I'm cool with that. Daniel Garcia is kind of teasing that he'll be at Wrestle Dream. Supposedly he signed a new contract, so that looks good. Darby Allin having an open challenge looks good. 0 Hour, looks like they're going to have the Ring of Honor Championship match. Brian Cage versus Altus Jr. That looks good. Let's see. Danielson versus Moxley. That's going to be one hell of a match. I think that triple threat's going to be one hell of a match. Chris Jericho versus Mark Briscoe. That match is kind of mid to me. Mid. Willow Nightingale and possibly Mariah May is going to look good. Sammy Guevara. Unfortunately, Sammy Guevara is going to be out with a fucking devastating concussion for a while. And if you saw the footage on that, man, that did not look good. So they fill up one side of the arena. So technically what AEW is doing is they're filling up one side of the arena. They limit. Guys, when we talk about fucking crowds, here's one thing that I want people to stop talking. Here's one thing I want people to stop talking. What's up, Alvin? How you doing? Sammy is lucky. Sammy is very lucky. Hopefully it doesn't ruin him. He's had how many concussions now? 2 back-to-back, what it looks like. Jay White just came off of a concussion, so hopefully, yeah, AEW's got to start being careful with those kind of things. But let's talk about the TV stuff. Let's talk about the audience type stuff. When I see pictures like that, do you know AEW limits tickets, right? I've been told by people that they limit tickets. Like, by the way, they only sell a certain amount of tickets, by the way. That's why their shows are that way. I wish they wouldn't be doing that, because then you wouldn't have people taking pictures all the time. So I guess for the Collision, I guess they had tapings for Collision, I think, or something like that. I don't know where this is at, but from what I see in the picture is they taped off part of the arena, and they look like they're wrapping, or looks like it's wrapping around. Looks like they sell X amount of tickets and then they limit tickets. They need to stop doing that. That's what I've heard from a lot of people, that when you go to Ticketmaster and stuff like that to buy for AEW show, they limit how many you can buy and how many seats you can buy, or how many seats they're going to sell. So they are limiting. So they're not putting, so they're just giving you enough. Okay. So I get why Sean Ross Sapp said what he said, and why his editor, his head guy that owns the site, said what they said about why they do it. Because they don't need to have so many people. They just need to look good in front of a camera, and really crowds don't matter because it comes down to TV views. So there's that. So that makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Bobby Lashley officially signed with AEW. That's been confirmed. That's what's up. Shane McMahon maybe walking in. I'm just reading X right now before I get out of here. Let's see. Anything else? We talked. By the way, if you guys are new to coming in, we did talk about the TV views, how they're not mattering. WWE is just as down as AEW. However you want to slice it, dice it, views are down across the board. People are cutting the cord more and more and more. And you guys got to understand that AT&T came out and said cable television is pretty much dead. They pretty much stated that they made a bad business bet. They lost $30 billion in the hole. And yeah, people are cutting the cord at a big rate. And the reason on CW, all right, buddy, I'm about to get out of here myself. So thank you guys for stopping in. I appreciate you guys as always. I will have my new affiliate codes down below for you guys if you're interested in Visible Wireless, things like that. I'm going to get to game streaming. I'm going to get a bite to eat because I got up and I just wanted to do this episode real quick, get this out the way, talk about the viewership because everybody else is talking about it. And I'll see you guys on the next one, all right? Peace out. Stay humble. I'll see you guys tomorrow here on YouTube. We'll probably do some college football watch-along stuff and whatnot. You guys have a great day. I'm going to be live on Kick and Twitch with some gaming for the day.